Hello everyone. Hello everyone. Today's problem that we are going to solve is the LeetCode 128 longest consecutive sequence. In my previous video, I have already explained the problem statement. In this video, I will go through the solution for the same. Right. So, as we have seen that we have to find the length of the longest consecutive sequence for this problem. We'll start with a brute force approach. So the one method one is you can say it's kind of a brute force approach which can be done using help of sorting. Okay, so in this what we have to do is I'll be writing down the description later. So in this what we have to do is we have to sort the elements of the array. So in this example we can see this is the element, this is the array that was given to us. We'll be sorting that array and then we'll be finding the consecutive elements in the array which and its maximum length, right? So in this scenario the consecutive longest element is 0, which is of length 1, and then in this case we start with 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 till 9, right? So this is the longest consecutive sequence, right? In this example we can see the longest consecutive sequence is 1 2 3 4, and the other sequence is 1, and this is also 1, right? So out of this the maximum is 4. So this is what we will be doing in this. so let's add some validations to it. If not nums, means if the array is empty, we'll be simply returning 0 for this. So in the interviews we should ask interviewer that what will be the length of this array, right? Like does the length of array can be 0 or not? As we can see in these constraints, it can be 0, so we have to handle the base case, or you can say the edge case, right? The other thing will be that we'll be doing is this sorting of this array, right? So we'll be using sorted function which is present there, and we'll be getting only only the numbers which are what not duplicates, right? Because duplicate will not be counted in the longest sequence. So sort and remove duplicates, right? This is what we are doing here. Right? And we'll be declaring two variables. One will be the longest and one will be the count, to maintain the count of the iterations, right? And longest will store the variable max. This will store the longest or the max value of the consecutive elements, right? So what we'll do, we have to iterate over the whole loop, right? For I in range, range will be starting from what? Range can start from let's say it starts from 1 to length of the numbers. We are doing this because we have to check, we have started the index from 1 not 0, because we have to check the previous element if it is previous and the current elements are consecutive or not, right? So if and if we start from 0, it will get a index out of bound error, right? I'll show you why. So if num set I is equal to num set I plus 1, right? If so, the consecutive definition is this, right? The number should be 1 greater than that, right? So we can say here check if the current number is consecutive. Okay. If it is consecutive, what we'll do is we'll do count plus 1. We'll increase the count by 1, right? What can be the other scenario? That it is not consecutive. Then in that scenario, we have to update the length, maximum length, right? So it will be max of what? It will be max of longest that we have till now, and the count that for the current iteration, right? And once we have found the longest one, the next element is not consecutive, means it means we have to check for other sequence if it is greater than the present one, right? So we'll be starting the counter with 0, right? So reset count, right? So reset. So till here we have found the longest element but for last iteration it will get exit out of the loop, and we have to check if this count is greater than this or not, right? So again we have to do one max of longest comma count, right? This we are doing because for the last iteration we are not going to go inside this loop, right? So let's say for this one, where was this example? For this iteration, we'll get first it will go to 0, and it will see the next one is not there, so the longest will be 1 here, and then it will start again from here, right? So these are all consecutive, it will come till 9, right? And it will exit out of this loop, right? So we have count as 9, but the longest is 1 here, right? But we have to return 9 in this case, right? So that's why we are doing max longest comma count, right? So we can say what we are doing is return the maximum of the last sequence, right? So for this problem, what we are doing is we can sort this array, right? I have written this, so I'll do just simply do copy paste, and what will be the time complexity and space complexity here, guys? The time complexity will be overall n log n plus O of n, right? Overall it is n log n, right? And the space complexity is this, right? So I'll just write the overall time complexity here also, right? N log n is for sorting, and the last n is for this thing, for iterating over the list of arrays, right? So this was the first approach that we had, how to solve this. But what they are asking is they are asking to solve this problem in O of n time, right? So let's see how we can solve that, right? I'll just remove all these and I'll write here sorting. Okay. So the better approach to solve this problem in n log n time is using hashet, right? How we can see that we can use hashet is that first of all we are removing duplicates here, right? So it means that we are using a hash, we have to use a hashet, right? And also we have to check if the next consecutive element is in the array or not, right? Here we are, what we are doing, we are sorting the array and checking the next element, right? It is not necessary that we have to sort this, we just have to check if the hash set has the next element in the array or not, which means does the hash set contain the next element or not. If it contains, we will increase the count by 1 or the length by 1. If not, we'll check for the other one, right? So what we'll do is we'll declare a set here, right? Because we need unique elements, right? So we declared a set, right? The other will be longest variable, which we can say initially it is 0, right? So what we'll do is we'll start iterating over the hash set here, right? We have the unique elements here, we'll start iterating on that. If n minus 1, if the number minus 1 not in num set, right? Then what we'll do is we'll declare length is equal to 1, right? Because we have to count the current element, that element length is also counted, right? And then what we'll do, so this is to what, to determine start of the sequence, right? It does not have its next, right? So this is to determine the length. Okay, so now what we'll do is we'll start with n plus length, right? We'll go n plus length, and we'll check if this is in num set or not, right? This is to determine how many next consecutive number exist in the set, right? Then what we'll do is we'll do length plus 1, right? Then longest is always equal to max uh, longest comma the length that we are working on, right? And at last we'll simply return longest here, right? So we can use a hash map here as well, but as of now hash set will uh, suffice this, right? You can always draw a imaginary line to visualize this, and the time complexity is n and the space complexity is also n, right? So what we have done is we have declared a hash set, we have removed duplicates from it, and for all each of the numbers we are checking if the previous number is in the hash set or not, right? If the previous number is in the hash set, it means if it is not in the hash set, it means the sequence has started, right? But this is the start of the sequence. Then what we'll do is we'll do length will start from 1, and then one by one we'll start doing number plus length, right? If that number exists in that, we'll increase the length by 1, and at last once we encounter that this number has reached the end, what I mean is ki the next consecutive number is not present in that, we have determined a length which can be the longest, so we'll just get the max of the length and the longest number, and that at last will return that. And if say few numbers are pending, right, and the next number is not consecutive, it will come here and it will again mark it as a start of the sequence, and then again it will run through the same row. Okay, I hope this was helpful. Please like and subscribe, and we'll be sharing more such videos in future. Thank you so much. Bye bye.